Alright, I'm back. I got the parts already. This hole where my finger's pointing here is where this shaft came out of. Well, I pulled it out because it just wasn't lining up properly. It was real tight up against the alternator bracket, and it wasn't lining up for the screws to get in. So I pulled it out. I sanded it down, kept it inside this, no more dust get on it. I got to scar up the inside of this, and then I'll mix up some JB weld and put on. Then the housing for the thermostat is here. I'll go ahead and put that one back together. I got to screw this back onto it. This is the old one. Have to screw it back on, so some Teflon tape, and screw that back in, and then I'll be back. Alright, what I'm going to do first, I changed my mind. I'm going to use this sealer. It's a pipe thread sealer, and it works real good. It gets kind of not hard, but like a rubber, semi-hard. And I'll put it on the threads and then screw this in. You have to lock this into a vise to get it tight. And then the JB weld, and I'm just going to be mocking it up right now because the space, these two pipes run real close to each other, but you still have to have room to slip these on. So I'll put it on for right now, just mock it up, let it sit overnight, and then the next day finish it up. So that would be my suggestion on it, so that you don't have the two pipes hitting each other and then you can't work with it. I'll be back. Alright, it's got a brush in there, and that's all I do. Put it on just like that. Let me show you what inside looks like. You have to mix it up because it has like the like a resin. It settles to the top, so you'd mix it up and then do it. Now all I have to do is just screw that into that area, and that's it. Alright, what I did, spin it till these two are in the same direction, and when it goes in, it's going to be right here. That gives just enough room for the other one to sneak by towards the back. Now I'm just going to finger tight this. I have to score the inside of the hole first. I didn't do it yet. Do that, and then put this on just finger tight so that I can get back to putting in the tube in there and line it up. Alright, I got the JB weld in. Put on my gloves for that one because I wanted to get some inside the hole, smear it around, make sure that there's not a clump in there, and then put around it and then slide it in. I'm going to let it sit and cure. And this thing, see, I can touch it, and it's a little tacky, but not soft. It can be taken out at any time and clean right back up. I'm not going to put the housing on right now. I'm going to let this sit because that's how close it gets to there. And I had to bend that pipe a little bit. I put it in the vise and slip a pipe over the top and just bent it real slight. And that's what I got. Before, it was touching on this side here and wouldn't allow this to go down maybe like another 3/8 of an inch just to line up. But I'll leave this for the day and continue another. Alright, it's getting late, but I decided to just go ahead and put it on the housing. That's the housing there. Everything is settling good on it. This is my test piece when I mixed up the JB weld, and it is not solid but hard enough that I won't bother it. I decided to just use my Permatex, and that'll hold the gasket in place. I have the new thermostat, and just button this thing back up and let it settle till tomorrow, and then fill it up with coolant. Alright, that's the #1 reason why I put on the Permatex or something, just to hold the gasket in place. And then I could take my time and put everything back together. But that's what the Permatex does. All right, got everything back up, buttoned up. Permatex on the gaskets, the pipe thread, the sealer on that. This is just sitting here right now. It's just curing. I'll hook the other one up, this hose here, lock it down, and then put on this hose that just goes from there to here. Excuse me. I just have to change this one out because of the little cut on it. I checked it real good and it's seeping through very, very little, but I'll change that probably the weekend, but I'll put this one on for now since it never really messed it up. And that should be it. So next time I show anything, it'll be more or less complete. Oh yeah, and don't forget to hook up the cable. That cable needs to go back in. I don't want to mess around too much moving this, so I'll just leave it alone, even though it's hard, but it's not fully cured. But don't forget to plug it in. That'll be it. All right, everything's back together. What I did, I cut about 1.25 inches off the big hose for now. That gives it the clearance there that it won't touch. Got this in, the sensor for the temperature gauge. That's on, that's on, that's on. The hose at the bottom, don't forget it is tight down there.